Hello, how are you today? It's great to have you here. Welcome. As usual, I want to start this video with a question. And the question is, do you know how much of what you experience as comfort is protection and how much is self-betrayal? For some of us, comfort equals a warm bed, a favorite drink, a favorite food, a specific texture, a moment of rest. And sometimes that is exactly what we need, this type of comfort, especially when we feel that there is a storm inside us. But there is another kind of comfort, the one that keeps you stuck in the job that you hate, the one that convinces you to stay in a relationship that has drained your spirit for years. Both have this label of comfort, but they couldn't be more different. And learning to tell them apart, especially when you're going through moments of deep identity transition or through life transitions, can make the difference between experiencing renewal or experiencing repetition. So in this video, I want to talk about the two types of comfort that you need to know about if you're going through internal changes, through internal disruption. So let's talk about the first kind of comfort. This is what I call the comfort of care. When we're going through acute or through the most painful stages of an identity crisis, an existential crisis, a midlife crisis, everything can feel raw. Your ability to cope is overextended, your mind is overstimulated, and even the smallest choices feel heavy. In those moments, comfort is not indulgence, is not a luxury, is not weakness, is medicine for your system, is what helps your system reset. Giving yourself this kind of comfort of care is what allows your body and your mind to start building trust and to start building confidence again. And for some of us, comfort might look like giving ourselves permission to rest, or maybe keeping your world small for a while, or leaning into rituals that soothe you, maybe reading the same book, or maybe walking the same route, or maybe cooking the same meal. For me, for example, as I was going through the worst of a midlife crisis, the comfort was, this comfort of care was napping on the floor. It was sitting by a fireplace and just focusing on warmth when everything else around me and even inside me felt frozen. So this is internal comfort, meaning it's something you do for yourself, is for you and from you. When you're struggling to make sense of things or to make sense of you, this kind of comfort, this comfort of care, is not a form of escape either. It's a way of resourcing yourself when you're at your lowest, because nobody else can do it for you. So that's one type of comfort, but there is another phase of comfort, and this is what I call the comfort of deceit. This is when you make comfort a function of your life narrative, a deceitful life narrative. So this is the comfort that we resort to and that we protect when we are in unsustainable situations, when some of our choices have become unsustainable. And we stand at that crossroads, playing it safe and saying, well, it's not so bad, don't risk it. Or I can handle it a bit more. I can handle it a bit longer, don't risk it. This comfort is a story you tell yourself to protect the unsustainable. This is the kind of comfort that hides behind logic, that sounds like reason, that sounds like maturity, like being practical. But what it really is avoidance, disguised as stability. What it really is self-betrayal, because this comfort of deceit is not in your best interest. It never is. It's comfortable because it feels stable, not because it's good for you. And this is the main difference with the comfort of care. So with the first type of comfort that we just saw. This is when you stay in a job that no longer fulfills you or that you've even grown to hate, because the idea of facing what's out there for you in the market at 45 years old feels terrifying. This is when you stay in a relationship that you know fully well that is dead, or that some uncrossable lines have been crossed, but you stay because habit and attachment have more weight than dignity, or because the thought of being alone in the dating market as it is today, with you being in your 40s or in your 50s, feels unbearable. And yes, these are tough things to say and to think, and I am guilty of letting these thoughts cross my mind at some point. This is when you're negotiating with your standards. This kind of comfort is a way of hiding, is deceit, because you already know, even if it's deep down, which parts of your life have expired. The moment you come to this crossroads of an identity crisis where you need to choose what's next, the moment you come to the crossroads of a midlife crisis where you need to choose what's next, you already know what needs to go and what needs to stay and what needs to be new. But this type of comfort convinces you to stay behind the fence of these crossroads, to delay, to pretend it's still fine. Now, something to understand is that the comforts of deceit often start as comforts of care. So let me explain this. So that is the relationship, the job, the coping habit that once helped you stabilize, reset, or feel safe. But these things that once were a form of care can, over time, become things that limit you. And this is what we don't always understand, isn't it? So we often forget that good things can be temporary scaffolds, not forever homes. They don't have to be. Things change, we change, we're allowed to change, to outgrow what once helped us breathe without making things even more difficult for ourselves by gripping to the comfort of the seat. Now, something to be aware of is that there is a kind of proportional rule between these two types of comfort. So the rule is that the more we engage in the comfort of the seat, the less we engage in the comfort of care. And also vice versa, in that the more we nurture the comfort of care, the less room the seat has to take over disguised as comfort. These two types of comfort cannot coexist at full volume. They can coexist around the edges or partially in parallel for some time, but not at full volume. So one of these two types of comfort will always win over the other. When you spend a lot of energy numbing out, you don't have much energy left for the small actions that restore. But when you start tending to yourself in real, meaningful, resourceful ways, in this comfort of care, whatever that is for you, you naturally become less tolerant of deceit, of the comfort that numbs. So, for example, you might still be working that job that drains you, and that has for a while, but if you start strengthening the comfort of care, whatever that means for you, giving yourself rest, giving yourself a chance to learn, giving yourself a chance to reconnect with what really excites you, then the seat is going to start losing its grip. And soon, what felt comfortable enough or bearable enough for now will start to feel unbearable, so that you will make the move that you've been avoiding for a while. And that's simply because when you put time and energy into the comfort of care, that makes you realize what really matters now. So how to tell between these two types of comfort? Mainly by asking yourself three questions. The first one is, does this thing that I'm doing or this thing that I'm thinking, does it restore or does it restrict? Because the comfort of care leaves you feeling more resourced, more capable of facing life, even if it's 1% more capable. But on the other hand, comfort of the seat leaves you feeling smaller, tighter, more scared, more doubtful, less willing to face what's next. Question number two is, this thing that you're doing, this thing that you're thinking, does it make you feel soothed or do you feel numb? Because the comfort of care calms your system, but at the same time, it keeps it alive. But on the other hand, the comfort of the seat, yes, it does quieten down the mental noise, but it also silences your aliveness. And the third question to ask yourself is this thing that I'm doing, is this thing that I am thinking temporary support, or is it a permanent excuse? Because the comfort of care is a pause that helps you recover, but the comfort of the seat becomes a pause that you never return from. It's a kind of an endless postponement of the decisions of the life that is waiting to begin for you. So the main question is this thing that I'm thinking or that I am doing helping me recover, or is it helping me avoid? During the toughest stages of a midlife crisis, an identity crisis, comfort of care is absolutely essential, because this type of disruption isn't something that you heal from, it's something that you rebuild yourself through. And how can you rebuild if you're neglecting or if you're deceiving yourself? Because you will not rebuild trust in yourself, in what's next for you, in life in general, by hiding, by delaying. And trust me, I delayed things a lot. You rebuild trust as you go through these stages of life where there is a lot of change, a lot of disruption, by making the next small aligned choice. And you can only make that from a base that stabilizes you, which is what spending time giving yourself comforts of care does for you. So if you're struggling right now through a midlife crisis, through an identity crisis, don't deprive yourself of care, but amplify it as much as you can. And if you're caught in the comfort of the seat, start pouring more energy into the comfort of care, whatever that means for you. Feed what strengthens you, whatever that is, instead of feeding your excuses. Because the more you engage with real nourishment through the comfort of care, the more impossible it becomes to keep living on the seat. Comfort of care is an indirect way of getting yourself ready to drop whatever needs to be dropped that you're still hesitant about. Now, I have an invitation for you. One of the reasons why we get stuck in the wrong kind of comfort is because of blind spots, so hidden patterns that shape how we navigate disruption. And this is exactly what I help you uncover in my upcoming course, The Coded Keys to Self-Rescue. Inside this course, we explore 3 sources of blind spots that block your ability to help yourself through crisis, through life transitions, through a midlife mess, including the ones that keep you choosing false comfort. If you want to go deeper into rebuilding self-trust and into learning how to choose the kind of comfort that really supports you, I would love to have you in this course. I'm going to put a link in the description box where you can register your interest. Just drop me your email and I will let you know as soon as the doors open. And that's all I had to share for today. I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.